Older men often win hearts without saying much. Because women rarely fall for noise anymore. They fall for two quiet words that feel incredibly safe. Those words are not sexy, but they are powerful. They hit the nervous system before they hit the ego. And once you see why, dating makes more sense. The two words are simple. I understand. That sounds small, but emotionally it lands huge. It tells her she does not need to defend her feelings. She says work drained her. He answers, I understand. Notice what he did not say. He did not compete, correct, or preach. He met her feeling before touching the problem. That is rare, and rare feels valuable. Many women hear advice all day. Very few feel deeply understood. Older men learn this through failure. Pay attention to this part. Charm excites people. Understanding disarms them. One gets attention, the other builds attachment. That is why the phrase feels heavier than flirting. It carries calm instead of performance. And calm feels expensive in a chaotic world. But here's the truth. She is not reacting to the words alone. She is reacting to the emotional safety behind them. Older men also know when not to fix things. They understand that pain is not a puzzle. When she feels upset, quick solutions can feel cold. She says, I am overwhelmed. He says, I understand. Then he stays quiet for a second. This is where it gets interesting. That pause tells her he can hold emotion. He is not scared of her feelings, and that matters more than a clever answer. Women often test this without knowing. They share something heavy and watch his face. Can he stay steady, or does he panic? Older men usually breathe and stay present. Younger men often rush to erase discomfort, but discomfort is not always the enemy. Sometimes it is the doorway to closeness. When a man can sit in it, trust grows. That is the hidden power here. Understanding says, your feelings do not scare me. And that lands like emotional strength. The phrase becomes even stronger during conflict, because arguments are really fights for meaning. Most people want to know, am I being heard? She says, you hurt me. He says, I understand. He is not admitting he is evil. He is admitting her experience is real. That changes the temperature of the whole moment. Defensiveness starts dropping almost immediately. Why? Because her nervous system stops bracing. It no longer feels like a courtroom. It starts feeling like a conversation again. But here's the trap. Fake understanding sounds slick, fast, and empty. Real understanding sounds slower and heavier. It often comes with eye contact and silence, maybe even a soft nod. That is why tone matters so much. Pay attention to this detail. The words work best when they cost him something. That cost is his ego stepping back. Another reason this works is emotional control. Older men often stop reacting just to protect pride. That makes women feel less like they are handling a boy. She gets sharp. He still says, I understand. Not as surrender, as steadiness. And steadiness is deeply attractive. It signals that he knows who he is. He does not need to win every moment. He wants connection more than dominance. That feels mature, and maturity feels safe. Safe does not mean boring, by the way. This is where people get confused. Safety is what lets desire actually relax and grow. Without safety, chemistry burns hot and dies fast. With safety, attraction has somewhere to live. That is why older energy can feel magnetic. It is not louder, it is grounded. And grounded people change the room. The phrase proves he can regulate himself, and regulated people are easier to trust. There is also something deeply personal in those words. They make a woman feel seen, not managed. She feels like a person, not a problem. She shares a fear. He says, "I understand." In that moment, shame loses some power. That matters more than most men realize. A lot of women carry hidden embarrassment about needs, emotions, age, body, or past mistakes. Understanding lowers the fear of being judged, and judgment kills softness fast. But acceptance invites honesty. Now watch what happens next. When she feels less judged, she opens more. She says the real thing, not the polished thing. That deeper honesty creates stronger intimacy. Not fake intimacy, real intimacy. And real intimacy is hard to resist. Because everyone wants somewhere to exhale. These words can become that place, if they are spoken with truth. But words alone are never enough. Older men become irresistible when actions match them. If he says, "I understand," then disappears, it breaks. If she says she feels ignored, he says, "I understand," then he follows up the next day. That is when the phrase becomes believable. Consistency turns language into proof, and proof is what trust feeds on. Anyone can memorize a line from the internet. Very few can live inside it. That is the difference women feel. This is where attraction gets real. She is not just hearing care. She is watching care repeat itself. Repeated care creates emotional gravity. You start leaning toward people like that, because they feel solid when life feels unstable. And solid is rare now. So yes, the words matter, but the follow-through is what makes them unforgettable. So should men start saying this more? Yes, but only if they mean it. Used as a trick, the phrase dies instantly. He says, "I understand," but keeps dismissing her. Now the words feel insulting. Because false empathy hurts more than silence. Women can feel the gap very fast. The face, tone, timing, and behavior give it away. That is why older men use fewer words. They know empty language creates debt. Real understanding begins with curiosity. Ask, listen, then speak. What happened? What made that hurt? Those questions prepare the ground. Then, when he says, "I understand," it lands. Not as a move, as a mirror. And being mirrored is wildly intimate. That is the secret underneath the secret. The two words work because they make someone feel real. And feeling real is irresistible. So the magic words are not flashy at all. They are simple, steady, and emotionally brave. "I understand" can open hearts faster than perfect lines. If this hit home, keep watching for deeper truths like this, because better love starts when people feel understood.